Hello there, welcome to the official demo of Ultimate POS. In this demo, we will look into setting up invoice formats. So like Ultimate POS, it provides you a lot of options to print beautiful invoices. So let us go to the settings. We have invoice settings over here, and here we have the invoice layout. So in invoice layout is where you will control the format for the invoices which is getting printed. So let me click on the add a new invoice format. I will name this format as format 1, layout 1. So here you will see like we have different design options, like one is classic, elegant, detailed, columnized texts, and slim. So this classic, it's like a very simple invoice layout. Elegant, like it's a more better invoice layout. This detailed, we have like much more detailed in this invoice layout. Columnized taxes, like it's a different kind of invoice, like where each taxes will have their separate columns in the invoice. And here we have the slim one, it's like used for the thermal printer. Like if you want to print the invoice in a thermal printer, we have to use this slim design. So let me click on the classic one. I will show you the classic one. Here I have here we have the name, we have the design option here. Like we can upload a logo here. Like if you want to upload a logo, we can upload the logo. After uploading the logo, we have to click on show invoice logos, then only it will show the logo. We can add some description. Let me add a text. So here we have some subheadings. Like if you want to add some customized subheadings, we can add the customized subheadings. And in here we have the invoice headings, like what should be the title of the invoice. Like if you want the title to be invoice, we can have it as invoice. And like some invoices, if the invoice are paid, like we can have a different title for them. Like we can have, here we have a settings for adding heading suffix per paid. Like if the invoice is paid, then like we can display some extra in, like we can display some more prefix to the invoice heading. And similarly, if the invoice is not paid, or if it is partially paid, we can add some prefix to the invoice heading. Like it will dynamically get added based on the invoice payment status. And we have the quotation heading, invoice number label, quotation label. Like if we are submitting a quotation, it will show a label for this quotation. And we have the date label, due date label. Like if the invoice have a due date, it will show a due date label. And it will show the value for the due date. We have option to enable show due date, like date format. If you want the date format to be in specific format, we can add the date format here. Or like if we are keeping it as blank, then it will show the date format in the invoice in our business date formats which we have set in the business settings. Salesperson label, we have option to show business name, show location, show salesperson, show customer information, customer label, cus- show client ID, which is same as the customer ID, client label. And here we have fields to be shown in the location address. Like we have two different addresses, one is for like the main business and another one is for each particular locations. So if you want to add some information related to the business locations, we have all these options: landmark, city, state, country, zip. Custom fields option is present over here. We have option to for communication details, field for text details, like each for in business settings. We have an option to add our invoice. We have an option to show our text number. So like if you want to show our text number, we can select this particular option, these two check boxes. We have product label, quantity label, unit price label, subtotal, HSN code, like categories code, like the product, the category of the product. Like if we have a product belonging to a particular category, then it will show the code for that category. And we have total quantity label, so brands. So all these informations are present over here. Like we can enable a bunch of options from here. So let me just go to the invoice settings once again, and I will edit this default invoice settings, and I will show a preview like how is it working. Let us use this default one for now. Like we have selected the design as classic. I will go to the invoice, I will go to the POS screen and submit a sale. Okay, I'm submitting a sale from here. And here you can see like the classic invoice layouts. It is like very simple invoice layout, nothing much complex here. And here you can see like in the print dialog of the Chrome, like we have an option like the page, we have an option to select the layout, like if you want the layout to be portrait or in landscape. Like we have a more setting option here. Like click on this more setting and from here you can adjust the paper size, like what is the paper size you want it to be printed on. You can select it as A5, or you can select it as legal, or like any paper size from here. So if suppose we are selecting it as A5, you can see like the text are getting cutted, or like if we are selecting it as A3, you can see like the text it is getting like it is invisible, like we are not able to read it clearly. So what you can do in like to adjust the invoice properly is like you can, let me, here we have an option to scale. Like if you want to we can keep the scale as customized, we can select it as 80. Now you can see like I have scaled the invoice to 80, like 80 percentage. So if I'm scaling it as 50, then you will see like it is getting much more smaller. Like if I'm making it as 80, like it's looking better. So here like I can select the paper sizes, and after selecting the paper size I can like scale this invoice, like as per of my requirement I can scale this invoice. And here we have an option for selecting header and footer. Okay, so let me select it as A4 and make it as 100. Okay, so here we have an option like header and footer. So if I will check this option, you will see like here it is showing me header with a date here and the header here, and like in the below it is showing me the URL of this page and the number here. So I can disable this one, like it's not recommended to have this header and footer in the invoice. So like if I will uncheck this one, you will see like the header and footer it is getting invisible, like it's getting hidden. And so that's all. Like here you can, using this like the more settings here in the print dialog, you can customize, like you can make the invoice look as per your requirement, and you can easily adjust the paper size based on your requirements. You have to adjust the paper size and you have to adjust the scale over here. So let us go to the invoice layout once again. Let me select this elegant from here and click on the update. So I will submit once, scale once again. Okay, now you can see like in the elegant, let me select this one as A5, A4. Like you can see in the elegant, like it is having a some color, it is having much more beautiful design. All these details are present here based on the settings which we provided in the invoice layout. And here we can adjust like the layout. Here we can adjust the page size, and like we can adjust the margin as well, like if the margin is getting cutted, or like if the margin is like if you want some more margins, you can adjust the margin from here. I can print the same invoice in the A5 page also. So I will select this as A5, like it's, I will make this one as scale as 80. If I will make the scale as 80, you can see like it's looking better now. I can make it as 70 as well. Okay, you can like adjust the scale based on your requirement, like how what is looking better. So 66, in the 66 it's looking better. And here we have the option to enable header and footers. Like, we recommend it to be disabled, you can enable it if you need. And here we have the background graphics. Like, if it is unchecked, then it's not looking better, like the background colors and all these details are not getting visible properly. So let me click on this background graphics also. So here you can see like it's showing a better invoice format. So I can adjust the paper size as well. Let me go to the invoice layout once again, and I will now select. So similarly, like we have for the detailed one, it will show much more detailed. I will click on the detailed and I will save it. I will add another invoice. So here you can see like it's showing much more detailed, like number of columns present in the invoice are like there are a lot of number of columns displayed over here. Let me go to the invoice layout once again, and I will now I will select as slim. But like slim, you can use the slim invoice layout to print it from the thermal printer, or like the handheld printer, like the small printers. So I've selected it as slim. I will add a product. I will click on the cash button here. So here you can see like the invoice, it's like a small invoice, and like, and it is showing a lot of information like in the small invoice also, like it's displaying lot of information in a very beautiful format. Like many of these options, like if you suppose you want to add some more headings over here, you can easily customize it from your invoice layout. You can add some headings, you can add some subheadings, you can modify the in like the date format, you can like hide the customer name if you want to hide the customer name. If you want to show the customer, like if you want to show the sales representative name, you can enable it from here. And so here it is showing me the product name. Let me go to the more settings here. Here for select this one as great. Let me zoom this one. Okay, like you can see now, like it's a very beautiful invoice format which will get printed in a small thermal printer. And like if there are some problems with the margins, you can easily adjust the margin from here. Like you can select the margin as minimum. So you can see like the margin is getting at a minimum here. You can like have the margin as customized, and in the customize, like you can select how much margin you want from each of the side. Like you can adjust the different margins from here. You can try printing it in your printer, and you can try printing it in your printer, and you can check it like what the margin is working best for your printer. Because like many different printers, they work differently. So like setting a default margin here, like it's a very difficult. So you can easily adjust all the margins and all the things from here. So that's all from the invoice layout. So hope like you can easily set a very beautiful layout in Ultimate POS.